What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Rey Mysterio Hall of Fame time. Been talking about this card all month. Let's get into it. So, I have tried multiple builds with this. I have done everything under the clear blue sky to make everything on this list work. There's a problem, and I did not see this problem being a thing. So, his gear is actually kind of critical to making a whole bunch of this shit work. So, having one gear, all your moves are going to start with 2 more move points. Having both gear, your cross break gems do 200% more damage. Both gears are critical to make multiple move sets work. If you're like me and don't have both gears, and will probably never have both gears, there are 2 move sets that work very, 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 very well, and one move set that I'm going to use if I'm not going to be running Rey and I need him as a defensive asshole. I was going to say a-hole, but this is my channel. I can cuss. Rey. Let's get to the meat of the bones here. I'm going to do a side note real quick. When I speak on the two gears, right? Both those gears combined, if you have both of them, make the Tilt-A-Whirl Head Scissors, Springboard Crossbody, and 619 triple purple moveset be the most annoying thing on the planet. Because 1, it takes for friggin' ever, and 2, he won't stop healing. So, in my Trick Dom Dom video, I labeled his triple yellow as the I Can't Die build. That has been overshadowed by Rey's I Will Not Go Down video. Or not video, moveset. Heh, silly words. So basically what you do with the triple purple, if you have both gears. If you don't have both gears, don't worry about this build. If you have both gears, you're essentially going in with the Tilt-A-Whirl Head Scissors, combining that with the 619 to have the most damage output from the board. The Springboard Crossbody is going to heal for 2.9 mil. If you slap on Hall of Fame Anvil and Trick Becky on here, you're going to be healing for anywhere between 5 point, or what was it? I think I had 4.9 mil and then 5.3 mil with a critical. This heals up damn near all the damage from most people. So what I would recommend, if you have both gears and you're doing this for a defensive standpoint, you can keep Anvil off, go for a better heal, and I want to say that one is Showboat Rock, maybe? But go for a better heal there. You don't necessarily need Anvil. And then you do double MP reduction. You just make sure they can't go off turn 1. And then you just sit there and let the AI do its thing. Just going over and over and over and over and over again. It's going to keep healing. It's going to keep blowing up the board. It's just going to keep recycling as best as humanly possible. I do recommend throwing on an MP plate onto there that gives purple MP. So that way, if you're going into feud and someone is going to use a submission card against it, just because they're going to be like, oh, well, you're going to heal, so I'm going to drop you down. If you throw the MP plate on there, you can easily go and have the Springboard Crossbody ready to go. Again, heal up for the damage that they did with their submission and just make life more difficult. All that said, now we're going to move on to the good shit. The good shit is Mysterio Kinrana. We're going to deal 167,000 damage and choose 7 gems to make into yellow gems. That is going to give us our Diving Hurricane Rana. Our Diving Hurricane Rana is the most fun card, or fun move I have used on a showboat in a very long time. Strictly because it does 210,000 damage, which isn't something that's miraculous, but we're going to make 20 random gems into Pyro Gems, which will modify all gems above it into yellow gems when broken by you. The hardcore mode is where this son of a bitch shines. Hardcore, if your opponent's class is Striker, first, you're going to steal up to 2.9 million health. Hell yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I love that fact. You know why I love that fact? Because I'm going to switch off Root here because he's not who I'm going to use. I'm going to throw on Mr. Shinsuke Nakamura and make it 5.9 million damage. Hello. Critical, that does over 6 mil. Not critical, just shy of 6 mil. Come the fuck on. Strikers are notorious for having the least amount of health in this game. At 6-star silver, I think if I remember correctly. It's somewhere along the lines of like anywhere between 17 and 23 million, I want to say. You're stealing 6 from them. What? That's redonkulous. All right. I could fangirl over that all day. I just love that damage. The West Coast Pop is our finisher. We are going to deal, thanks to Sheamus being on here, 2.4 million damage and force our opponent to skip their turn for 2 turns. When you combine the Diving Hurricane Rana and the West Coast Pop towards damage in this game for a striker, you're doing 13 million damage turn 1 if you so choose. Is that really something to be mad about? I don't think it is, especially against a 6-star silver. At 6-star bronze right now, against a 6-star silver striker, I could easily wipe away 3/4 of the health in 1 turn. 1. That's phenomenal. All right, we're going to hop in against Karrion Kross here. Our belt, I should have stipulated this at the beginning. Our belt has a 200% yellow move damage increase. It is full Fury 2. We're looking at over 100% increased damage on our gems. And the legit boss plate is here for shits and giggles. So it's not really for shits and giggles. It actually does have a purpose. Whenever you break 6 or more yellow gems, make 6 random gems into cross break gems. If you do not have the boss plate, I'm going to say this now because I'm going to forget to do it later, go with the Kid's Lightning on this one. That is the break yellow, turn purple into blue. That will help you recycle a little bit better. So the reason why the boss plate is on here is solely because of the Mysterio Kinrana. We're going to choose 7 gems to make into yellow gems. We're breaking 6 because we have NWO Hogan. We're breaking 6 to charge up the West Coast Pop. By breaking 6, we are putting out our cross break gems. That will, in theory, help us with the Diving Hurricane Rana turn 2. Breaking out all of those pyro gems. If we are so fortunate enough to have our cross breaks survive. Essentially what we're hoping is those are going to land on a match or have a remaining match left over, or we can go and use a generator prop. One way or another, we're going to get the board to recycle itself with our pyro gems. So we're going to go in against Karrion Kross here because we can, and Karrion ultimately is my biggest pain in the dick. But I want to prove something that I did not know was completely possible up until today, actually, this morning. So beforehand, I've never had to experience Karrion as much as most people probably have. His kick out for TikTok, he deals his damage, but he forces his opponent to skip their turn for 2 turns. Our finisher, being the West Coast Pop, we're going to have him skip his turn for 2 turns. I honestly assumed that by doing the West Coast Pop, making him skip his next 2 turns, that with him doing the TikTok, we're both going to be stunned and sitting here staring at each other like 2 ships in the night. It does not work that way. If you stun him first and he does the kick out, yes, the damage does go through. 100% of the damage does go through. The funny thing about it, he's stunned, we're not. That's the best part of all of it. I did not know that. I was today years old when I found that out. So the reason why we put NWO Hogan on him is so we avoid a cascade. If no NWO Hogan, it's a 10 spot to charge up the West Coast Pop. So you have to break 9 gems. By breaking 9 gems, you are opening yourself up a little bit more to having a cascade and letting them do their thing, and we don't want that. So we're going to hit the Pyro Gem move, which I already forgot the name of it. We're going to hit the Diving Hurricane Rana. We are stealing 6 million health. We ripped apart his life total, and now we're going to end him with our finisher doing 6 million damage. We did 12 million damage in 1 turn with 2 moves. Yep, that's a thing. And look at those go. Look at all that pyro. It just boop, 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 boop because of that boss plate. Hell yeah. If you haven't figured it out yet, I absolutely love this build. I absolutely love everything about it. I just do. It screams to me in the night, and I love it. Now, if you're in the same scenario as I am, where this build is ideal for you, but you don't have a MP plate on Lawler and you main D'Lo like I do, you can go and switch up D'Lo a little bit. You can make him to where only a couple of his moves go off, and then you have Lawler here. Or you can go down this route. This is just a secondary route. I'm not going to run it. I'm just going to show you. This is a secondary route for people who don't have NWO Hogan at his max capability and stuff like that. essentially what you want to do here is you'll go Kofi and Asuka, preferably Asuka. If you don't have Asuka, Shobo Cena will do the same thing. Any +2 yellow will really work. You go with those. That gives you 6. That gives you Running Tornado DDT, a good shot in the dark. And you can do Hogan on there. If you're on top line with Rey Mysterio, you can go those two, and your West Coast Pop's going to go off first and foremost. And you're using the Tilt-A-Whirl head scissors to ultimately wipe the board and recharge everything all at once if you are lucky enough with your board. This is just a secondary option for people if they're limited on their cards. You can switch out Nakamura for Hall of Fame Rude to give more West Coast pop. You can also do K-Quick, which everyone should have, as he was free. So the next build, this is essentially my secondary build for him. Give me it. Freaking stat. Okay, so this is going to take an extra minute. It's not something that is one and done, ready to go. It is a something. Let's just put it that way. So when you go down this route, you can do one of two things. You can go with full submission, which I'm going to throw Logan on there just to kind of show. You can go full submission with Logan and head of the table Roman. You can also do Shelton Benjamin instead of Logan. If you don't have Logan, obviously go with Shelton. So this is going to be doing 1.6 mil total because it's 4 turns at 434,000. Everything that's left over is going to be cross breaks. Then we have our Mysterio Kinrana and our West Coast Pop. So West Coast Pop, one way or another, is going to be doing about 6 million damage, roughly, if you have a 200%er on there, which I highly recommend you doing. If you go down this route, please, by all means, go with Takedown 2. Increase that finisher as best as humanly possible. It is going to be your saving grace. If you can get it as close to 8 million as humanly possible, you are going to be able to run the board. It is going to take a while. You will not lose, but at the same end of the stick, if you're going against a Showboat Taker, you might lose because of the MP. If they have an MP plate, I do not recommend using this. Obviously, it's kind of, this is more of a talking point than everything else. To be honest, Rey is very, very good, but Rey ultimately needs to be running the Diving Hurricane Rana basically every single time. There's no doubt about that in my mind. One thing you can do is switch out West Coast Pop, and you can go down this route. Let me show you. You can go down this route and do what I like to call the Piper Niven setup. So let's go in against Carrion with this, and I'll show you what this one does. We're utilizing our cross breaks here to blow up the board. That's why I have nicknamed it the Piper Niven build. Oh, I didn't put on the right trainers. Crap baskets. All right. Well, we're going to suffer for a second because I'm stupid and didn't put on my trainers. Do I still have Nakamura on here at least? Yep, I have Nakamura on here. So since I failed to put on the trainers, this is going to do less damage than what it really should. And it kind of makes me a little sad that I did this wrong. I'll have to redo it correctly next turn. Because he doesn't need NWO Hogan for this. This is embarrassing. When you're sitting there looking at the ground, wanting to know why everyone's laughing at you, this is the reason why, Jeff. This is the reason why. Look at that pitiful fucking damage. Now we're stunned. Now we're going to stay here for a second because we messed up. But luckily, Carrion does not do enough to actually make me worry. Not against a Showboat, at least. All right, do your jazz. We're going to win next turn anyways. This kick out nonsense is just bull hockey. We're going to steal all the health. Every little bit of it. And then really, we got a match right there. Just match that up, throw that down, let it go. Yay! We survived the mistake. We only lost a quarter of our health. Perfect. All right, let's go back and recheck out the trainers real quick. Y'all saw what the whole purpose of that was. The whole purpose of that is the lifesteal. The whole purpose of that is to do what Piper does, make a whole bunch of pyros, make a whole bunch of cross breaks, blow up the board, essentially doing what you can do, but you're stealing all the health in the process. So for trainers for this one of two routes is completely possible, especially going into feuds. So you can go with Asuka here for the +2, doing a little bit more move damage if you so choose. I do not recommend it, but you can. Or you can go with Showboat Cena, doing plus or giving +2 yellow, and then 40% increase on yellow gems, and then you switch out NWO Hogan for Hall of Fame Taker. That's going to be the best route for this one. Where's Taker? And Taker. So basically, you go down. Let's go move charge. I believe Cena is on someone right now. He should be. Yep, 45% increased damage. So let's go see what this damage does. This is personally a good setup in my opinion. It's a decent setup. Obviously, the submission with the diving cross or with the Mysterio Kinrana into the finisher. Anything involving the finisher is going to be really, really good. Anything involving the diving Hurricane Rana is going to be really, really good. Do with this as what you will, right? There's a couple of deals here. Now, like I said, if you are lucky enough to have both gears, utilize both gears. Make sure that you're getting some good value off of that. You can go with multiple setups. You can go with multiple things. That's a good board explosion. 1.6. That kick out is just going to be the bane of my existence. And then those pop, make the yellows. He kicks out. Yay, nothing got recharged. So he's going to go swiper, no swiping, swiper, no swipe, or hit his move, and then swiper, no swiping. Come on, do your thing. I'm kind of bored here. Okay, now we're going to steal all the health back. Every little bit of it comes back to us. We have a cross break right here, so we're just going to swipe, let the board do its thing. Cool, 783. So really, ultimately, I'm looking at it as such. If you have the Piper plate, if you have both gears, you are set up perfectly to make Rey Mysterio the biggest beast in the yard for being this, or that, what's that old saying, big things come in small packages? That'll be Rey. If you have both gear and you have Piper plate, he's going to be the big bomb in a small package. Now, if you're like me and you do have the Piper plate, but you don't have both gears, then running essentially the boss plate or the Kid's Lightning, either way, those are going to be your best routes. As Kid's Lightning or the boss plate. And there we go, we're already set up. Mysterio Kinrana, Diving Hurricane Rana, West Coast Pop, that's going to be your bread and butter. If, this is solely if you don't have boss plate, Piper plate, Hall of Fame Taker, Shinsuke Nakamura, if you don't have any of those four, run this build one way or another, steal a health, make sure your trainers are set up to do the most damage with the West Coast Pop. Utilize that finisher to the highest extent of its ability, and he will do wonders for you. I solely believe Rey Mysterio, if you have him in your free-to-play card or player, not card, you're a free-to-play player. I need to work on that. If you're a free-to-play player, Rey is going to be probably one of your best Hall of Fame cards. Strictly because of that finisher and the Diving Hurricane Rana being able to fill themselves up, even doing 2.9 million health steal is still wonderful. Having that combined with the West Coast Pop dealing, like I said, up to 6 million damage, you're doing 8 million damage against a striker at 6-star silver. That's a 2-turn clock, 3-turn clock at its worst. So either way, Rey Mysterio is going to do very well for your roster. I put this build as a S-tier build. 1, because it can be utilized by anybody. 2, it has a very diverse trainer to coach ratio selection. You don't specifically have to have, you don't have to have specific cards. You don't necessarily have to have the Piper plate. Piper plate's not on him right now, and we saw the damage that came out of it. It's not great, but it will get the job done. Having the Diving Hurricane Rana out there, if you do get pinned, you have those Pyro Gems. You can utilize those Pyro Gems to kick out and go back into your rotation. Either way, it is a gold card, in my opinion. It is S tier. It is for everybody to use. So if you have him, you just got him, and you have all the tokens, work him up as high as you possibly can. Get him to 6-star silver as fast as you can. He will do work for you. Especially given this weekend's boss battle is yellow gems are increased by 1,000%. He is going to do a great job this weekend on assisting on the boss battle. I do not see him being the end-all be-all for this weekend, but I do see him putting in a lot of footwork. So, with all that being said, Rey and I are going to leave you the same way I always leave you. Life can be fun. Be allowed to be. See you in the next one.